I'd been with Claire for almost 8 years, long enough to know the rhythm of her laughter, the way she tilted her wine glass when she'd had a few, the spark in her eyes when she felt admired. Lately, though, that light wasn't for me anymore. Our dinners had become quiet routines, words exchanged more out of habit than warmth. Still, when she invited me to her promotion celebration, I went. I told myself it was a chance to reconnect, to feel like we were still a team. The restaurant was upscale, crystal lights sparkling, laughter bouncing off marble walls. Her colleagues filled the room, a dozen or so, and she stood at the center like a performer owning the stage. As the waiter refilled our champagne, I noticed her leaning comfortably against a man named Dylan, her new department head. I'd seen his name once in a message thread labeled Work Updates. My stomach twisted, but I said nothing. Then she rose, glass in hand, confidence painted across her smile. "To new beginnings," she said, voice cutting over the chatter. "And finally doing what makes me happy." Glasses clinked, laughter followed. I forced a polite smile. Then she turned toward me. "And to freedom," she added, "because everyone I'm leaving Ryan." For a second, I thought I'd misheard. Then came the laughter, sharp, echoing, cruel. Dylan laughed too, that smug laugh that doesn't belong in polite company. Claire tilted her head, waiting for my reaction as if it were the punchline. My hands shook, but my face didn't. I stared at the woman I thought I knew and nodded slightly. "Good for you," I said softly. Then I lifted my glass and drank. The night blurred on. Conversations resumed, jokes cracked, and her colleagues whispered like hyenas circling wounded prey. I excused myself early, saying I'd take a cab. She waved, almost dismissive, as if I were an inconvenience in her new world. At home, I sat in silence for hours, the taste of champagne still bitter on my tongue. Anger didn't come first. Clarity did. That night, I didn't sleep. I opened my laptop, logged into our joint accounts, and started untangling everything we shared. Bank accounts, the house deed, investments, all of it. By morning, the lawyer had my full attention. I told him to prepare the divorce papers. Full settlement attached. No contest, no drama. He raised an eyebrow. "You sure you don't want to fight this?" "No," I said. "She wants freedom. Let's give it to her." 3 days later, the envelope was ready. I signed it with steady hands this time. It felt surgical, not emotional, not vengeful. Just done. On the 4th day, she called. "Ryan, you left before I could explain." I cut her off. "You made it pretty clear, Claire. You wanted an audience. You got one." She sighed. "It was just a joke." "Okay, a stupid moment. Don't make it bigger than it was." "Jokes don't come with champagne toasts," I said. "And they don't end marriages. But this one did." That evening, I returned to the same restaurant. Same golden lights, same table by the window. Only this time, I carried an envelope. She was there with Dylan, laughing just as loudly as if nothing had happened. I approached quietly, set the envelope in front of her, and leaned in. "Congratulations," I said, matching her tone from that night. "To new beginnings." Her smile faltered. "What is this?" "Your freedom," I said. "Signed, sealed, delivered." Then I walked out. The next morning, my phone exploded with calls. Unknown numbers, mutual friends, even her mother. Word travels faster than expected. Claire hadn't told anyone she'd been served, but the look on her face last night must have said it all. I ignored the calls and went for a walk. The air was crisp, and for the first time in months, my mind felt quiet. Relief, not triumph, washed over me, the kind that comes after a storm when you realize the house is still standing, even if empty. When I returned, she was waiting outside my building. Dressed down, no makeup, no audience. She looked smaller somehow, not physically, but in presence. "Ryan, can we talk?" Her voice was softer than I remembered. I didn't invite her in. We stood on the steps as she fiddled with her purse strap. "I didn't mean to humiliate you," she said. "It was supposed to be funny, dramatic. Everyone was drinking." "Funny," I repeated, disbelief in my voice. "You turned the end of our marriage into a party toast." Her eyes watered as she reached out, but I stepped back. I wasn't happy, she murmured. You barely notice me anymore. I needed, I don't know, attention. I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized I wasn't angry. Just done. You didn't need attention, Claire. You needed control. And you got it until it stopped working. She blinked, caught off guard. So that's it? You're just walking away? I'm not walking away, I said calmly. I'm giving you what you asked for, freedom. You wanted to make me the punchline of your new life. Now you get to live the joke. She flinched like I'd struck her. For a moment, I saw a flick of regret, but it was too late. That night, she messaged one line. I made a mistake. I didn't reply. Weeks passed. The divorce went smoothly. She didn't contest, probably because she realized how neatly I'd handled everything. The house, the savings, the car, all divided without drama. Something shifted in her, though. Mutual friends told me she broke things off with Dylan. Her workplace romance collapsed once gossip spread about that toast night. She went from star of the office to the whispered story everyone talked about. Meanwhile, I moved to a new city, found an apartment overlooking the water. A different job, a different rhythm. I started running again, sleeping again, living again, late at night. Sometimes I remember that moment. The clink of glasses, her confident smirk, the laughter filling the air. It used to hurt. Now it felt distant, like a scene from a movie I didn't enjoy. Months later, a small envelope arrived in the mail. No return address, just my name in her handwriting. Inside was a photo from that night. I was in the background, half smiling, unaware. On the back, she'd written, I thought I was celebrating freedom. I didn't realize I was losing it. I stared at the words, then folded the photo and dropped in the trash. Closure doesn't always come loud. It doesn't come with arguments or apologies. It comes quietly, when the person who tried to break you no longer has the power. And maybe that was my final toast, not to revenge, not a heartbreak, but to peace, to new beginnings.